8-second time. I call the member for Newtown.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 20, states that everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association. The power and intimidation of the police force in New South Wales, whether explicitly granted under legislation or implicitly used, has been inflicted on peaceful protesters for too long and is already too great. The expansion of these powers is unacceptable and a clear breach of our basic human rights. It is yet another attack on civil liberties, on groups, organisations and individuals that wish to speak out, act up, demonstrate resistance to this government's conservative agenda. If the neoliberals and big corporations have one thing in common, they come together and lobby governments to want to see less regulation and more government policy that enables them to maximise their profits. We, those on the left, those of us that are part of socially progressive movements, also share a united common value. And that is our right to be able to be protected, to peacefully protest, our right to freedom of expression, freedom of assembly and freedom of association. It is these rights that are under attack with this bill, and this is why they are doing it. To attempt to shut down our movements for change, our attempts to take direct action to prevent them from the widespread destruction of our land, our water and our communities, and the attacks on our neighbourhoods, whether it be farmland in rural New South Wales or inner city neighbourhoods facing the threat of WestConnex. Our right to take direct action, our right to protest must be protected. As the member for Newtown, I am proud to have provided our local community with non-violent direct action training so that they may engage in action to be able to stop the polluting WestConnex tollway that will come through and destroy their neighbourhoods. I am proud to be part of a party, the Greens, that stands with the left and that stands with progressive movements in support of the right to protest. Whether that be joining a picket with the MUA members at Hutchinson, as I did last year, storming the James Hardie offices over a decade ago with the CFMEU, to stand up for the fact that asbestos was having huge impacts on workers from migrant communities, or whether it just be last month when I stood in the way with residents of a drill site in relation to the exploratory drilling for WestConnex in Tempe. I can say that I will stand with you and I will continue to stand with you to take these direct actions. The Greens strongly oppose the Enclosed Lands, Crimes and Law Enforcement Legislation Amendment Interference Bill and strenuously reject the limitation it seeks to impose on legitimate protest. We've heard from those on the other side who focused very specifically on the issue of mines and mining. What they haven't addressed is the fact that these powers and this bill will actually remove the current limitation on move-on powers under Section 200 in LEPRA that stop police from using move-on powers for an apparently genuine demonstration or protest, a procession or an organised assembly. This change would mean that there will be a broad range of circumstances in which an officer, a police officer, can direct a person or group of people to move on. This will include an ability to issue a direction to any person participating in a protest if the officer believes they are obstructing another person or traffic, or if their presence constitutes harassment or intimidation. I say to those on the other side, it's not just in relation to mine sites that this will occur. This will occur across the whole of New South Wales, in inner city Sydney, and that is why myself and other members on the other side are very concerned about the broad-reaching legislation that is being put before us today. But it's not just the Greens that are raising these concerns. Today there was a rally attended by hundreds of people outside of this parliament, hundreds of people that came despite the rain to exercise their right to peaceful protest, including the Nature Conservation Council, farmers, nurses and midwives association, traditional owners defending the Laird and the Pilliga, the president of the Stop CSG Sydney spoke, the Council for Civil Liberties, Unions New South Wales and Groundswell Gloucester. All of those people came together in the pouring rain to say that they supported their right to protest, their right to peaceful protest, and objected and opposed strongly this legislation. But it's not just the people that are engaging in the protests on the street that have serious concerns about this legislation. As we have heard, The Law Society of New South Wales has expressed serious concerns that these proposed new laws may interfere with the ability of people in New South Wales to engage in demonstrations, protests, processions and assemblies, and considers that it is a right, an important aspect of the democratic state for people to be able to protest. What we are seeing here is a government that is consistently and continually attempting to shut down dissenting voices. What we are seeing is, whether it be around local council amalgamations and the removal of local representation that is speaking out against the destructions of their communities through overdevelopment and polluting tollways, or whether it be actually trying to shut down debate and shut down protests in relation to the mining and the destruction of our land and our water across this state, we are seeing consistently every attempt by this government to shut down dissent. It is because they don't understand, on the other side, that actually what is so crucial about a strong civil society around a strong democracy is actually to ensure that there are voices of dissent that can be heard and expressed freely without fear of intimidation or overreach from the police. The New South Wales Law Society says that we consider the New South Wales Police already have extraordinary powers of search and seizure and are able to restrain and detain people for their own or others' safety. This is already in existence. What we are seeing is basically an extension further of police powers at a time when it is very clear that there is no need to be expanding police powers in this state. The Bar Association has also raised serious concerns about the broad-reaching nature of this legislation, and I would urge those on the other side, on the government side, I would urge them to have a look in detail at this legislation. Do not focus just on the second reading speech of the Minister. Do not focus just on the briefing that you may have got with extreme cases of people locking on in protest and mine sites. Have a look at what it means for actual basic civil liberties. Have a look at what it means for the right to peacefully protest. And make it clear that actually the right to peacefully protest does not mean that you only have the right to protest if the New South Wales Police give you permission. Actually, you have the right to protest, you have the right to freedom of assembly without a form that the New South Wales Police have signed and told you you can protest on. That is a fundamental right. It is not just with police permission that you have the right to protest. There is no such thing as an illegal protest. What this is sets up a pretense that actually you need the police's permission in this state to protest, and that is just factually incorrect. It is untrue, and people should have the freedom to gather, to assembly and to express their views, no matter what the New South Wales Police believe is the answer or the truth. They are not the deciders of who and how we get to protest in this state. The Lock the Gate Alliance has come out and expressed serious concern, saying that this bill represents a threat to the farming communities and to the property rights and interests of people in New South Wales. Even the Conference of Leaders of Religious Institutes has come out and expressed concern that only the interests of the mining industry will be served, rather than those of farmers and concerned people about the environment and the future of food stability. And in the second reading speech from the Minister, and it needs to be pointed out, it is quite bizarre that we're seeing the Minister for Energy introducing this bill, when in actual fact this is yet again another overreach by the New South Wales Police Minister and the New South Wales Police to try and shut down our civil liberties and our rights in this state. And for too long the New South Wales Police has had too much power when it comes to actually attacking people's civil liberties and demanding that they control the way that justice is done in this state. It is bizarre that the Energy Minister is bringing this forward, but he focused specifically on the impacts around the mine sites, on the impacts of people locking on. People are ignoring the fact that this will have an impact on protests around the state. The right to peaceful protest, whether it be against WestConnex, against forced council amalgamations, the knitting nanas knitting outside of an electorate office, someone choosing to engage in a protest about the lockout laws in Sydney, someone choosing to protest a local development. All of these people now will be inflicted by a result of these overreaching and expanded police powers that once again show that the people in control of this government agenda and this law and order and justice agenda is actually the New South Wales Police. It's not actually an attempt to have any approach to justice. And I would say that actually the final thing we need to recognise is that so far there has been no evidence provided for the need for these laws. They are disgusting laws, they are despicable laws that again provide police with too much power to intimidate and create fear amongst people who engage in peaceful protest, which is a fundamental human right. The Greens really oppose this bill.